Have a good day everyone, especially to you sir. Today, me and my group mates will respond to your activity posted at the Google Classroom, which is to introduce the various access control methodologies such as the mandatory access control or MAC, discretionary access control or DAC, role-based access control or RBAC, and attribute-based access control or ABAC, and discuss how each methodology could be applied to enhance security in the presented scenarios, and provide a practical exercise where members can configure access controls in a stimulated environment. Use any available security software or tools that allow members to set up user rules, permissions, and restrictions. Members are encouraged to reflect on how the access control methodologies address the identified vulnerabilities. Keeping your data safe involves more than just a strong password. Access control methodologies provide structured ways to determine who can access what, minimizing vulnerabilities and preventing unauthorized exposure. Let's delve into four crucial methodologies and see how they can enhance security in different scenarios. Nobody in an organization should have free rein to access any resource. Access control is the combination of policies and technologies that decide which authenticated users may access which resources. Security requirements, infrastructure, and other considerations lead companies to choose among the four most common access control models. First, we have the mandatory access control or MAC. So, what is mandatory access control? Mandatory access control uses a centrally managed model to provide the highest level of security. A non-discretionary system, MAC reserves control over access policies to a centralized security administration. MAC works by applying security labels to resources and individuals. These security labels consist of two elements. First is the classification and clearance. MAC relies on a classification system, the restricted, secret, top secret, etc., that describes a resource's sensitivity. User security clearances determine what kinds of resources they may access. Second one is the compartment. A resources compartment describes the group of people, department, project team, etc., allowed access. A user's compartment defines the group or groups they participate in. A user may only access a resources if their security label matches the resource's security label. MAC originated in the military and intelligence community. Beyond the national security world, MAC implementations protect some companies' most sensitive resources. Banks and insurers, for example, may use MAC to control access to customer account data. So what are the advantages of MAC? First, we have the enforceability. MAC administrators set organization-wide policies that users cannot override, making enforcement easier. Second one is the compartmentalization. Security labels limit the exposure of each resource to a subset of the user base. How about the disadvantages of MAC? First, we have the collaboration. MAC achieves security by constraining communication. Highly collaborative organizations may need a less restrictive approach. Second is the management burden. A dedicated organizational structure must manage the creation and maintenance of security labels. So now, let's proceed to the second access control, which is the discretionary access control. So what is discretionary access control? Discretionary access control decentralizes security decisions to resource owners. The owner could be the document's creator or a department system administrator. DAC system use access control lists or ACLs to determine who can access that resource. These tables pair individual and group identifiers with their access privileges. The sharing option is most operating systems is a form of DAC. For each document you own, you can set read or write privileges and password requirements within a table of individuals and user groups. System administrators can use similar techniques to secure access to network resources. So, what are the advantages of DAC? First, we have the conceptual simplicity. Access control lists pair a user with their access privileges. As long as the user is in the table and has the appropriate privileges, they may access the resource. Second is the responsiveness to business needs. Since policy change requests do not need to go through a security administration, decision making is more nimble and aligned with business needs. How about the disadvantages of DAC? First, we have over or underprivileged users. A user can be a member of multiple nested work groups. Conflicting permissions make over or underprivilege the user. Second is the limited control. Security administrators cannot easily see how resources are shared within the organization. And although viewing a resource access control list is straightforward, seeing one user's privileges requires searching every access control list. Third or the last one is the compromise security. By giving users discretion over access policies, the resulting inconsistencies and missing oversight could undermine the organization's security posture.
Rule-based access control is a method of restricting network access based on the rules of individual users within enterprises. Rule-based access is sometimes referred to as rule-based security. In rule-based access control, access decisions are based on a person's role within the organization, hence granting or denying them access to certain data or application based on the rule. Rule-based access control can enhance security in various scenarios by providing a structured and organized approach to managing access rights. Here are some ways rule-based access control could be applied to enhance security in a different context. 1. Employee access control. In a corporate environment, rule-based control can be used to restrict access to sensitive data and systems based on an employee's role. For example, a junior employee might have limited access to financial records, while a senior manager may have full access. Implementing rule-based access ensures that employees only have access to the resource of necessary their role, reducing the risk of unauthorized access. 2. Healthcare data security. In a healthcare setting, rule-based access control can be used to control access to electronic health records. Different healthcare professionals such as doctors, nurses, and administrative staff may have different level access based on the rules. 3. Educational institution security. In a school or university, rule-based access control can help control access to academic records, students' information and administrative system. Faculty members, students, and administrative staff may have distinct rules with different access requirements. Implementing rule-based access control can ensure that only authorized users have access to specific academic resources and administrative functions. By using rule-based access control, organizations can effectively manage access rights, reduce the risk of insider threats, and ensure compliance with industry regulation. Additionally, rule-based access control provides a scalable and efficient approach to access control, simplifying the management of user permission and enhancing overall security posture.